Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Taskforce Echo, a StarCraft RPG. I am John, your executive producer here at Final Show Films. I turn over to our game master for the evening, William.
I am William, and I will be playing the role of the Kaprulu Sector in this StarCraft RPG playtest. Let us begin by introducing our player characters. Let's see if I can do this from memory, because I don't have the stream in front of me. Joining me first is, I'm trying to think of where that would be. It would actually be up on this end, because I'm horizontally flipped, would be John.
Wrong, but anyways. I'm on the other side.
You are not horizontally
You are not horizontally flipped to us. You're horizontally flipped to yourself, though.
Right. So, yeah, we'll do that.
Yeah, I'm John, and I'm playing Vazaran, the Tal'Darim Pirate Queen.
And if I recall correctly, on this end is Jeremy.
Jack.
I know it is. It is Jack. Okay.
It's me, Jack, then Jeremy. So you were technically correct.
Who's going?
Jack.
Okay. Hi, I'm Jack. And I'm playing Koronix, the Protoss Nerazim.
And then Jeremy.
Hi, I am Jeremy. I am playing Dirk, the Terran who is not smart enough to wonder why he's on the side with the two Protoss.
I do remember that Aaron was directly across from John, so that would put Aaron up here.
Directly across from Jack.
From Jack. Either way, we don't have someone in this,
Hi,
in this upper
I'm
area.
Aaron. I'm playing Ava Sweet, the Terran medic, who is too smart to question being on the same side as the aliens because that would be rude and racist.
And then Rachel, who's back with us again.
Oh,
Sarah.
I'm Rachel.
Wise.
I am whoever you want me to be, and I'm a hot mess. Have a good night, guys.
Best
What was this?
start ever.
I think you have beaten me now, William. I think that is definitely worse than my worst start.
I mean, the only thing that it was missing was all of us introducing ourselves as executive producers.
Yeah, but that wasn't on my end. That was you guys being dicks.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
And
I didn't know we could do that.
I mean, you can. Whether or not it's advisable is a separate issue.
Whatever,
I'm just gonna make up a job title and introduce myself as that.
And just the stream goes offline for some reason.
We just need to get you a big, like, old electrical ceramic switch.
Just like put it right here. Just
Yeah.
wham!
Boom! Fuck this noise.
All right. So, when last we left the task force, they had left behind the Primal Zerg Koronix to reconvene
Korlash is who you're thinking of.
You damn it,
is still the goddamn captain of this goddamn ship, and he is
This
running
is the
this
kind
ship.
of day it's gonna be, isn't
I
it?
didn't know Cornix was a primal
This is-
Zerg.
This is the kind of day it's going to be. It's a Vex and Vax problem. Only it's core and core. All right. The Primal Zerg Korlash to reconvene with his pack leader, and gone to meet with a individual known as the Broker, who turned out to be a Tal'Darim Protoss by the name of Vazaran, who is John's replacement character. They have met to gain access to the Sons of Creation facility known as Blacksite 3, which has been reported to be their head of logistics facility and primary interaction with the outside world, hoping to find information on the locations of the other two black sites. Moving their way through the facility, they managed to fight their way down to the central generator room, you could call it, where they did battle with an individual who appears to be one of the creations of the K project, which the party has learned was an attempt to recreate psionics of Sarah Kerrigan's level of psionic ability, having about including the assistance of Taskforce Whiskey, about 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 of you, 10 or 11 or 12, 12. Math. 12 of you together brought down this sound Titan individual that was throwing around psionic bolts like nothing. And we rejoin with the group of you coming down from that battle, and with Ghost and Vazaron meeting in what appears to be the main data frame of this facility. That is where I pick up.
Ow. Ow.
Okay.
Ow.
So I'm gonna go over and use the med pack.
Okay.
Unless there's something else that someone needs to do first. But why the fuck is... Stop it, Habitica. I don't know why I clicked on your link.
I'm not sure.
Once I'm back in roll 20, add 20 to whatever I roll to heal you.
Okay.
Because I haven't had a chance to update that yet.
Right.
I'm sorry about that, and I'll definitely fix it at some point, but I had more pressing matters. That's why I have my screen arranged the other way around most of the time.
And I had gone in to see what Ghost had found.
Yes.
Stone.
Or, yeah,
Stone.
Stone,
Yes.
the Ghost.
Plus 58.
So that is above a natural 12, so if you have any crippling wounds, you heal one of them, and you heal result not plus 5, but result plus 25.
Right. Oh, so
63.
another 5. Yeah.
And that's probably your last healing threshold for the day. I'm not quite sure.
I have one more.
Okay.
If we need it, let's go find another fight, because I'm feeling like I have not come close enough to death with my 1 hit point that I had left at some point.
Didn't you actively go unconscious at one point?
I'm pretty sure.
Not that I'm tired, though. I'm as fresh as a daisy.
Let's do it.
Oh, yeah.
I
So
can heal once more.
Okay, who else is injured?
Oswald is very injured.
Rolling for that.
So 51.
Natural 3, so he doesn't get any crippling wounds back. But if we're pausing, I can use a surgery kit if he has any.
51 brings him to 65.
Yoink.
All right.
So, Stone.
Stone's voice comes over the comm.
Yeah.
So I've got the Pirate Queen in here with me. The rest of you might want to also get over here.
That's where Cornix was headed.
Yes, sir.
All right. So the
Trundle,
This is
trundle,
another
trundle.
fight. Dirk, stay towards the back, please. Heading off.
all right. So the
Sorry, man, that ain't my job.
the group of you convene in the group of you convene in the computer room, and it's a relatively cramped space for all of you to fit inside, especially those of you who are in power armor. But you are all able to file in.
And then somebody throws 3 grenades in there, and none of us can move because of all the power armor, and we all die.
My power armor
That's why
is
we're
not...
keeping you near the door so that you can catch the grenades and
perfect,
throw them
yes.
back.
My
'Cause I
power
can't
armor
catch
is
grenades
not
now.
cumbersome.
So
Cumbersome and there are large chunks of metal in your way are two different things.
So I will also differentiate. Your power armor is very cumbersome. You've just adapted to it to where it doesn't actually hinder you. Like anyone else wearing it would still be affected by very cumbersome. But anyway, as all of you gather in the room, Stone is poring over a computer readout. So I've got the locations of these next 2 black sites as of right now. Intel tells us that they do move very regularly, but I've also got potential access to their data stream, assuming they don't know what happened here. Which, give it enough time and they'll find out, however.
Oh, do these black sites ever interface with one another, or are they entirely independent facilities?
They're mostly independent, but they do seem to have regular data drops on updates for goings on between the black sites.
But they're never in the same place at once.
No, that paints too big of a target.
Pity.
3 massive space fortresses all in the same place at the same time. Someone would see that.
I'm certain they would. Anyways, where is our next target? Are we going straight for the big one, or are you all wanting to stop at number 2 next?
Well,
Given how quickly they move, wouldn't it be advisable to tackle both at once?
I was about to
Assuming
mention
that.
And aside from that, well, he looks over at Cornix. How badly do you want this space station?
Unless it's to be surrendered to the other individual authorities of the coalition, I believe a summary destruction of this facility would be highly advisable.
Well, I only say that how bad do you want it, because I do have access to both rudimentary thrust control and security doors.
Oh, I think I could probably fit. I think I could probably sort out its piloting requirements.
Looks at the pilot.
It does take a crew of about 100 to move this thing normally. I've only got access to thrusters. I can make it go up.
I mean, we ain't got no 100 people.
What's the role for, like, composure / morality?
Willpower, I would say.
Okay.
Flip a coin.
I mean, I have a decent
Or
will.
or mental training, if you
Okay.
use that one.
Can do.
I mean, Stefan had a high mental training. I would not say his morality was good.
And
Well,
your
his
own
conviction-
Mental
to
training
his
may
own
work well
morals,
for
though,
Ava because
yes.
a lot of her morality is academic.
Yeah, so for you, it'd be mental training.
Roll mental training.
Natural.
Yes!
That's a natural 1 for those at home.
So, Ava,
Is Cornix visible at the
There
moment?
is-
Yes, he is.
there is a line to be had here in that these individuals are notably seeking to cause harm to a mass number of civilians, and spacing them is one of the more humane ways to kill all of them.
Yes, that is true. Ava's not. I won't explain. Wait, I forgot. What species is the guy that is suggesting this?
He's human. He's a
He's
ghost,
Terran.
so he's Terran. He's a ghost, so he's about as far from Terran as Terran gets, but
But still Terran.
He's Terran. He's Terran with the side of something else, which is weird. But, you know, he's Terran.
he's
Terran with a side of something else.
he's Terran with a side of complete mental control that basically makes him a drone.
Ava's going to. Stefan, we might want to guard the door just in case
Stefan?
someone gets the brilliant idea to throw a grenade in there and walks out of the room.
Where'd Stefan come from?
Dirk. was-
Stefan starts
really
firing.
the day of no
at
one's names are
everyone.
right.
Stefan just opens fire.
Dirk.
I stop his heart and watch him die. Now, I mean, I'm all for getting us up to a high enough altitude, closing off certain doorways, opening up others, so that it makes everything all the more delightful when people start flying out into space.
Now that shit just ain't right.
It's all in your perspective and how you look at it.
Like Ava, you are fully aware that Ghost is Ghost. That Stone is he did it because John did it. That Stone is suggesting this purely out of pragmatism, because if you want this ship, you need it cleared out, and he has no real moral qualms about killing, because he is an assassin, a brainwashed, emotionless assassin.
I mean, you're right. It's about
Standing
perspective, and the correct perspective is that just ain't right.
Well, to you maybe.
To anybody who's good to folks.
Oh, that's right.
I mean,
I forget
these
you
people do want
humans.
to kill all non-psionics.
I forget you humans need to breathe in space.
I want to roll a perception check to see if he's being honest there or not.
Wait, who? Stone or Foster?
William, other question
You.
about the
Sure, go ahead.
room. Is it feasible for me to get out of earshot of this conversation without totally isolating myself?
No, you're all cramped into a relatively small room.
Yeah, I left the room, like I said, but
Oh, okay.
That's a 38.
No, she has never once forgotten that you guys need air.
Sir, permission to tell your species mate to shut the fuck up.
Well, if we are going to eliminate the current personnel and
That doesn't answer his question.
Cornix is not dumb.
Cornix is ignoring it.
Yes, as well
yes,
he should.
Once you step outside the door, sound is blocked pretty quickly because it's pretty heavy.
okay. Just gonna stay out there then.
I mean, it's
Look,
either
we
that.
pay you in advance. We treat you with a civility. We have you turn around so you can have deniability.
Situation.
Look, either we take the
Sure.
quite arduous time and go through the entirety of this ship, killing and maiming and disemboweling and dismembering our jolly way through and bloodying up the entire place, or quick and clean, open the doors, dump them out, and then I have a wide variety of very eager to please volunteers who will come in and clean up.
I should note, you might be able to skeleton crew this ship. You wouldn't be able to get it fully crewed. Your criminal organization is roughly about 150 to 200 people, and they tend to be spread out because you're an information broker.
Yeah. The objective would be to retrofit it and like reduce size greatly and retrofit it to be crewed by a smaller crew.
Yeah, because it would take almost all of your organization to crew this, and that would mean you would have no one getting information for you.
No. The objective would be to gut it, sell parts, and refurbish it. I don't need a giant space station. We have to stay mobile. But parts are valuable.
With all due respect, there ain't one damn syllable of what you said that sounds right.
I mean, we did just kill our way to get to this point.
There's good ways to die, and then there's wrong ways to die.
Oh, now you're just talking in sentiment.
I mean, I should point out that... No, I can't lie to you and say that that's painless.
It is so not painless.
It's certainly painless to us.
And Vasquez is the leader of whiskey, right?
Yeah, she's in this room right now. She's mostly just kind of holding her helmet under her arm because it's got massive cracks in the visor and it's not really usable anymore. As soon as she gets it fixed, it's probably going to go right back on.
Sergeant Vasquez is commanders of our respective units. Who would be taking command or assuming control of a larger captured facility such as this in whatever passes for standard task force operating procedure.
Well, considering that considering that task forces aren't exactly standard operating groups, there isn't really a protocol for what to do when two of them are working together and want to split spoils. To be quite honest, though, Task Force Whiskey doesn't need this station. We've actually got a battlecruiser.
Very well.
Well then.
And also, we're a bit more of an insertion force. We're more on ground ops. That said, I mean, I'm sure that that Project Unity could use this station for something. And it is our job to kill these people. At some level.
Then I believe we'll proceed.
Alright. Stone. Vent him quick. As you say, ma'am. Stone gets to work on the computer console. Ava? Where are you standing?
If directly outside of the door is somewhere where I can't hear this, directly outside the door.
So you're about probably on the other end of the room, just to be away from the little bit of sound that's coming through the open doorway.
Yeah, she's not so stupid as to go far away, but she's out of earshot intentionally.
Right. So around all of you, the door to the computer room slams shut and seals. A moment later, the door, all of the doors to the room that you are in slam shut and seal. Then there is a brief moment where you can feel the rumble of thrusters kicking to life as the ship begins to fight against gravity and pushes up and up and up. About 6 minutes later, you can feel gravity's effect lessen. And all is silent. And after about 6 minutes of rising of this rumbling sensation, when you feel atmosphere stop putting pressure on you in the confines of the room, Stone, well, one job done, and about 400 terrorists killed. And he hits two buttons, and the exterior doors that have direct access to the void shut, and these doors open.
And there's a giant rush of wind as the atmosphere units start pumping things back in. It's a lot less fun that way, but more efficient.
Well, I see why, shall we say, the nobler members of our government have issues with this, but ultimately these people were either going to be incarcerated for life or killed anyway.
Well, let's see about putting this unique piece of equipment that we've acquired into the hands of the right people at Project Unity, then.
Oh, did I forget to mention, that power core supports a warp drive that can actually move this thing.
Fascinating.
Excellent news.
Can you move it from here, or do you require a more full crew for this ship?
That's a good question. I can't do it from here. I've got rudimentary thrust control from here. I can move it in basically the cardinal directions.
Well,
I'm gonna need to get to the bridge to do anything, and I might need more of a crew.
well then, let me get off a message, and I can have some more folks here for you. While I'm doing that, though, could you see if they have any stores of that wonderful gas that I was promised?
Yes, checking inventory. We've got about 2 tanks of terrazine in the cargo.
Good, good. We'll take that in payment. And I will...
And as you reach for your communicator, Stone looks over to Vasquez, who looks over to Vlad and Vlad, Zax, and Malcolm. And Zax steps forward. Now, Vazaran,
Yes?
I would point out that this facility is intended to be handed over to Project Unity. And I would hate to have to cut my way through your forces when they try and take this ship from us.
Oh, we have no need of such a fortress. You have nothing to worry about. I am, after all, a business person first. And when I make a deal, I see it through.
There's this knowing look of that's a lie that comes from Zax because he knows you, but he doesn't say anything to anyone else.
Sir, I'm gonna go
Small
check
lie.
the armory, do some inventory,
Well,
Very good.
send a message
and he
off
stalks off.
to my supplicants.
Probably see Ava in the hallway. She's just looking at her data pad.
Ava Sweet, any potential of getting a message out to Admiral Horner, updating him on what we've achieved here?
I would prefer to do that from our own ship, but just given we are fighting essentially a technomancer. But yes, I'll get on that right away, sir.
Very good.
Ava will start wandering back, realize we're in space. I can't get to our ship. Never mind.
Remember, you did dock the ship in the space dock.
Yeah, the Kundalari
Retract
is
that statement.
definitely attached to Blacksite 3.
Hold the map back up on my hollow thing and navigate to where we left the ship.
After I get done sending the message off to have them dock and prepare to help get the ship back to Unity Station. Because we really don't need it. Put Crystal away. So then. Stone, was it?
Yeah, that's my name.
Where's my terrazine?
He pulls up a readout that has like a location somewhere in the fortress that is marked as terrazine storage.
Okay. We'll look over at Cornix. Care to join me?
I will.
And I will head that way.
Alright, so you make your way through the facility and make your way to the location marked. So, when he said 2 tanks of terrazine, he meant it.
Like industrial-sized tanks.
Like vats.
Yeah.
Not like tanks, like things with guns on the top.
No.
No, unfortunately, we don't have siege tanks in here.
Siege,
Yet.
not terrazine siege tanks, no.
Like,
They just fire
Fill
off
the tank with the
kerosene.
gas.
Yeah, it's like napalm.
Psychic in.
It's like napalm, but terrazine.
roughly accounting each, an industrial barrel is roughly 10 gallons. Each of these tanks is roughly 10 barrels worth, which makes it about 100 gallons volume-wise.
Mm-hmm.
So you got about 200 gallons of volumetric gallons of terrazine,
Oh, this will do quite nicely for my purposes.
which is the equivalent of 20 barrels, which is 400,000 credits worth on the average market.
Yes. Well, it's a good thing
So
I have
she's
my
in drug
crew
addict
coming.
heaven.
basically.
We will have to get this shifted off onto my vessels as quickly as possible. Oh, yeah, does it seem like any sort of obvious way to detach them, or is it gonna have to? I'm gonna have a crew in here like doing.
I mean,
maintenance to get them
they're
out.
shipping tanks. Like
Okay,
they're not
okay.
connected to anything.
Good. So yeah, just bring a probe in, pick it up, take it away. When my crew gets here, I will have them do that, in addition to helping Stone get the ship to Unity Station.
Cornix is going to be doing his best to determine if there's anything particularly loose laying around that might be able to be utilized scavenger-wise to... Oh, wait. Where's Shauna?
Shauna Briggs is still on Unity Station.
She's still on Unity?
Yeah,
Okay.
all of Task Force
Got it.
Renegade is still on Unity right now.
Okay.
They did not come with you for this.
Let me know when I get to the ship.
All right, you make it there in about 15 minutes. Let's cover that now. So what are you doing?
Adjutant informed me if anyone else from the crew arrives.
All right, we'll do. Anything I need to do for you other than that?
Yes, we have 2 calls to make. I have 2 calls to make.
Very well. Who
First,
can I put you through to?
Admiral Horner.
All right. Well, coming up in the comm room if you want to meet me there.
Yep.
All right. You make your way to the comm room of the Akundalar, and when you enter, Admiral Horner's face is already up on the screen. Ethics Officer Ava Sweet. How can I assist you? You've just got contact. I assume you've taken blacksite 3, or at least got the information we need.
Indeed, we've managed to appropriate blacksite 3 in its relative entirety. We're still working on exactly how the craft is going to be moved, but Task Force Whiskey seems to have some ideas about that, as does their contact.
All right. Ooh. If you need anything, you can send me the coordinates, and I can send a crew to get the site back online.
I'll let them know. It's a large ship. We currently don't have the resources to staff it ourselves, but we may be able to arrange it, and the offer is appreciated. Was there anything else I was supposed to tell him, Jack?
No, that was pretty much everything.
Is there anything else you need from us at the moment?
I need to roll a die for him.
Roll and dice.
And I should note that Ava's keeping all of that frustration off of her face right now. She's just being the professional report to the professional does the captain's reporting for him.
Yeah, but Matt Horner's a good judge of character.
Can I roll influence to bullshit?
roll me an influence to bullshit.
Okay.
I'm gonna see if you can beat it.
And is Horner?
He is not Umojan.
I genuinely don't know. Is Horner Umojan?
He is not Umojan technically. So
okay, then
you do get that extra D6.
22. Plus a D6.
So 24.
So there's a pause to his response that indicates that he's gauged that something is troubling you, but he doesn't necessarily press you for more information. He kind of is assuming that if you have something you need to say, you'll say it to him.
Yeah, I've kind of proven that already with the Stefan nonsense. Very well, sir.
Unless you have anything else you need to tell me.
Nope. But And Ava will nod and wait for, being dismissed or whatever.
All right. Admiral Horner out. And the screen winks out.
All right, now I'm Adjutant, call Task Force Renegade.
Certainly. They were actually very nearby. Yes, well, getting a feed to... looks like we've got Richter picking up. And the mildly zombie-like face of Richter comes up on the screen with the glowing yellow eyes that kind of give away his infested nature. Taskforce Echo. How can I assist?
Well, it's not necessarily an assist so much as it's informing you of our updates. We've managed to achieve our objective that we discussed at the last point. By way of eliminating those like your colleague became.
Say again? What was that? I actually didn't hear that.
Oh. Sorry, my mic scooted away from me. By way of eliminating those like your colleague became.
Well, he sort of pauses for a second as if he's trying to figure out how to word this next sentence. There's a part of me that feels that pain and distress for you. But, well, let's just say the swarm doesn't really care about numbers, and in the arithmetic of war, turncoats aren't worth saving.
Indeed. I simply wanted to have the message communicated, particularly to your own medic, of what had transpired and that we are moving along with our plan.
Yes, I'll get the word to our good doctor. I'm fairly certain she'll have more to say on the matter than I will.
Also, we did acquire a very interesting ship that your technician may be interested in.
Right. I'll also pass that one on to Shauna. Anything else that you need our attention for?
Just if you're aware, is it safe to assume that Korlash will not be rejoining us at the moment?
Yes, I've gotten a bit of word back from the Swarm that their new project is underway.
Understood.
So, as far as I am aware, Korlash is not so much the same creature he was.
Yes, he did have a bit of a obsession with that. I'll inform our captain. Thank you for the information.
All right.
Anything else you need from us?
Well, to be fair, you did contact us. Is there anything else you need to tell us?
Not at the moment, just the updates.
Very well. And I know that look. And I feel for it. But ultimately, this is a war we're waging. Remember that.
True. I simply am looking at a different cost-benefit analysis than your Swarm.
Yes, I wish I could say that I empathize with you, but I'm afraid that part of me isn't quite as functional as it once was.
Ava isn't really hiding this. It's probably pretty clear if he's insightful. If it's not, whatever. She has no regard for him as a human being or as a thing. Like, similar to the adjutant, this is a function she is going through.
And While I understand my nature as an infested Terran sort of diminishes my worth to the Terran regime, I should also point out that while it is less physiologically extreme, the transformations that these members of Sons of Creation have undergone is no less an infestation.
Your worth to the Terran regime is not mine to evaluate. I'm sure those above us, in both governments, have made their evaluations on that metric.
Well, perhaps their own evaluations will run a different course. But
Perhaps.
I've made my peace and you've made your report. So, we will see each other on the other side.
Ava will nod, click the call off.
Mm-hmm.
Adjutant, still, let me know when anyone else gets back. Go into my room.
Anyone else heading to the ship?
Nope. Dirk's keeping with what he said he was going to do. Hold on just a second. Just finding the armory and inventorying it because it's something for him to do.
So, on board this ship, I mean, there's a large count of weapons. Let me actually try. And, let me roll some percentile dice to figure out how many weapons we've got here.
I have been moving the Goliath to the cargo bay of our ship,
Nice.
painstakingly through the halls.
How long did I get a message back on how long it would take for my crew to get here, or have they already arrived?
You're given about a half-hour estimate.
All right, I'll let Koronix and Stone and the rest of the task force know that. But my supplicants will be here in 30 minutes of your time.
So not counting equipment that has been spaced, which is mostly those that were being carried by individuals. This facility has, let me get this on a side, 71 registered Gauss assault rifles, 50 heavy Gauss rifles,
Okay.
24 repeating Gauss pistols,
Lots of guns.
Guns. Lots.
2 rocket launchers,
Guns and ships. And so the balance shifts.
Consolidate their gifts. Yeah.
No, we had to rendezvous at Rochambeau to consolidate their gifts.
I'm skipping ahead.
the thing that stands out a little bit, 10 swords.
Ooh.
Okay.
Are they side blades?
No, they're swords.
Just swords.
Shabash.
There-
Shosh with a bloody ash.
Long blades.
There is in the armory one item that you don't recognize because it sort of looks like a sword hilt, but there's no sword.
Can I get a lore roll?
It'd be science or military. It does have a military history, so it technically would be lore. You could do lore or science, whichever is higher.
Tactics?
Tactics
If
is
it's military?
yeah, it is military. Any of those three, the DC will be
Okay.
different based on which one you're using.
Tactics, because that's not my role.
That's not
That's initiative.
Actually, oddly, that is my role.
Because initiative is tactics, yeah.
Yep.
roll it again because you rolled it under initiative.
Okay.
It'll be worse.
It could be worse, but
I mean, it'd be
God.
really hard for it to be worse, but this is me.
Natural.
And you just said it would be really hard.
I
There
mean,
you
that's
go.
not worse.
No, it's not.
okay. So these haven't seen a whole lot of military use simply because Well, for one, psionic operatives are kind of a important resource for the Terran military because psionics are kind of uncommon. So they try to keep their psionic operatives as alive as possible, and putting them in the front lines is dangerous.
Right.
So you're not familiar with this weapon, but you do recall rumblings about a psi blade, which is sort of an attempt at Terran recreation of the Protoss psi weapons.
Okay. Blade? Question mark?
I mean, there's a really easy way
Cornix
to
is
find
going to
out.
be trying to wander his way through, looking for specifically any tech that is non-Terran in origin.
All right, one
And
second. Let me finish getting inventory here.
And
Go on.
having found and tagged my canisters for retrieval, I will be accompanying Cornix.
So there are, as well, there are significantly less armor because most people were wearing it, but left over there are. These numbers are going to be a little bit smaller, so I'm going to roll smaller dice.
Aight.
All right, so there are 19 suits of combat bodysuits.
Combat body suits.
There are 5 environmental suits.
Like HEV suits or
No,
just
environmental suits.
Oh, just environmentals. Okay, cool.
2 HEV suits, hostile environment suits.
Still environment suits.
The difference being environmental suits are sort of like the big, bulky, heavily armored spacesuits that you would imagine a regular person wearing into a hostile environment. Yeah.
Right. HEVs are basically ghost
They're,
ones, right?
they're ghost suits, yeah.
Right, yeah.
HEVs are ghost suits. 19 suits of... Let me make sure I got the right edition here. Of CMC 400 powered combat armor.
Mm-hmm.
6 suits of CMC 405 light combat armor. Light power armor.
Lots of shit.
Okay.
2 suits of... 2 5-4 armored infantry suits.
5-4 armored
5
infantry suits. 5-4.
Yeah, 5-4 armored infantry suit.
Aight.
And that's what you've got for weapons and armor.
Okay. So yeah, he is just going through organizing, inventorying, cleaning, checking ammo, etc., in a rather methodical way.
Any gun that is in this hold, you have at least 1,000 pieces of ammunition stocked.
Let's
not
go
like
take over a planet.
That's not like per gun. That's grand total.
Right. It's the ammo
So
cap.
I just marked down shit ton of ammo.
I believe that's a technical Terran
Yes.
UED
Yeah.
regiment.
Remember,
Yep.
this is a facility that was meant to house a military force.
Mhm.
Hashtag shit ton of ammo.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Install
How much
it
ammo
at
do we
your
got?
station.
1 metric shit ton.
Yes.
How many metric?
no.
Only 1 metric shit ton.
No, that's that is a shit ton under English weight measurement,
Oh, okay.
So it's a shit ton.
not metric.
So it's an imperial shit ton, not a metric shit ton.
Yes.
Yes.
Which makes sense because you'll have imperialistic tendencies of expansion with that much ammo.
Yes, you will.
I don't know if you realize how fast 1,000 rounds goes away with an army.
Yeah, no, it's not that much ammo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's not that much ammo for the number of people they have. For the number of people we have, it is that much ammo.
Yes.
Ava's not there, but I'm asking just in case. Any med packs found?
Yes, actually. Not in the armory, but if you're doing complete inventory, the medical bay does have 40 med packs.
Trauma kits?
At least 2, but trauma kits are reusable, so they didn't need a surplus of them.
Oh yeah, that's right. I always forget that.
After Oz-
mine is tier 2.
After Oswald loads up the Goliath, he's gonna go find Dirk.
When the Goliath enters the ship, the adjutant Vera, letting you know that Oswald Ridley. Oddvald Ridley. Oh no, not Oddvald Risley.
Oddvald Risley.
Oswald Risley has returned. Wrong accent as well. Oswald Risley. Nigga.
Just
The pilot.
say it.
Just say the pilot.
The pilot's back.
Understood.
Fucking pirates.
Adjutant, are you having a malfunction issue that we need Vera to examine?
Potentially. My vocal cogitator's a little bit of a.
Oh my
Got a little
god.
bit screwy right now.
Well, catalog the issue and we'll have the technician examine it later.
Right. I'll put that down for maintenance.
Oh, that was amazing.
I mean, whenever a machine misspeaks, you can.
And
put
by
it down for
Vera, I
maintenance.
totally meant Shauna.
I figured.
Ah.
Because Vera is the adjutant.
Yes, Vera's the adjutant. Shauna's the technician.
Yeah, when my people arrive, I will head out to meet them.
Alright. So you step outside, and the first person to greet you is Terex, and he is a Nerazim who works under your control.
Mhm.
So, and he as he approaches, he looks up at the facility that is all around him as he's docked. So, Pirate Queen, are we to take this ship?
No, it is part of our bargain with the. Well, with Zaxithras, is it? Yeah.
Yes.
With Zaxithras' playmates. We're simply going to help them get it back to their Unity station, and in return, there are 2 large vats of the Breath of Creation that we are going to, well, find a buyer for.
There's this subtle look of find a buyer or be the buyer.
Oh, no. Vazaran doesn't partake.
Okay.
And the entire and all of her crew will know this. She doesn't worship the shit. She doesn't give a shit about it. She just wants to sell it because she knows other people do.
Very well. All right, all of you quit slacking off. We have Terrazine to recover and a ship to move.
They're in large containers. You may need a probe.
Load one of the SCVs in case we can't warp it out.
Out of curiosity, has Cornix followed me to meet, or is he still wandering about the station?
Cornix is still scanning the station for anything non-Terran in origin.
Okay.
Roll me a... Roll me a perception check followed by a science check.
Okay. Perception first. Pull my character sheet here. There we go. Perfect. Perception is 14. Whoops. That was not the button I needed to click. Science, you said, followed?
Yes.
Or okay. Perception 14, science is 20.
All right. Something catches your eye as being out of place, and you go further to inspect it, and you realize that this facility is running not, shall we say, disruption fields, because they're not quite Protoss tech.
Okay.
Or not stasis fields.
Mhm. Oh, okay.
But there's a very similar type of technology that goes into this facility's brig. And that leads you to realize that a lot of the tech on this ship isn't Protoss tech, but it is a Terran attempt at adapting Protoss tech.
Nice.
It's nowhere near as high quality as Shauna's thing because she kind of seamlessly integrates Protoss and Terran technology.
Right.
This appears to be a Terran going, okay, Protoss do this thing. How can we figure out how to do this thing?
Right. Okay. Are any of those active currently?
In fact, one cell is filled.
Yeah, we're going to go take a look at that.
You said my Nerazim supplicant was Terax?
Terix.
Terix.
T-R-I-X.
Terax. I will, as a gesture of good faith, I will have Terex instruct our SCV pilot to offer repairs to the Goliath that Oswald commandeered.
Very well. We'll get the SCV to fix up their Goliath as well.
Very good.
Alright. So you make your way down to the brig area where you notice these cells. And in one of these cells, which is, like I said, it's very much sort of a pseudo-stasis field. It's not quite the same tech, but it is very much a Terran approximation of keeping a living being in stasis to hold it.
Okay.
And being suspended in this, shall we say, like, it's almost a cryo cell, basically, is... It's sort of a... You ever seen... The visual image I want to call to your mind is the cells from, like, any Knights of the Old Republic. From KOTOR 1 and 2. The standing circular cylinders with, like, an energy field.
Yep. I know exactly what you're talking about.
But instead of someone moving in there, they're just, like, held stock still in stasis.
Right.
Inside is a Protoss. And it's an Ire Protoss. You can tell very obviously because of the golden carving of his armor and the the sky blue of his eyes, even though they don't seem to be perceiving anything.
Neural filaments still intact?
Yes.
Oh shit.
He still has his nerve cords.
Okay. But still blue in the eyes.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you're a Protoss by nature. You know that Amon is dead.
Right. Okay. As long as I've got that lore already still intact. Pull out my... No, I've got... Can I make an evaluation to see if I can figure out how to deactivate this from the exterior?
Yes.
I know how.
Roll science.
Break
Oh,
it.
okay.
Terran technology has this problem where if it breaks, it stops working, so...
$23.
Yeah, so you managed to figure out, sure enough, how to effectively turn this cell off. It's not incredibly difficult, but it's Terran tech, so you're unfamiliar, so...
Right. All right. Yeah, I'll deactivate it.
Alright, so you turn the field off, and this energy field slowly... I was already accounting for Xenotech in that science roll. This field slowly fades and winks out, and this individual slumps to the ground to their knees. And as you get a closer look at them, you realize this equipment he's wearing is ancient. Like, roll me a lore check.
Okay. That I definitely don't have to take a.
Nope. This is our shit.
19.
Or our shit, I should say.
You, for one, the physical sword on his back is a dead giveaway.
Oh, cool. So like Strife Blade?
Yeah, it's a strife greatsword.
It's a man for
This
the
man's equipment dates back to the Aeon of Strife.
Okay.
I knew Protoss were long-lived. I didn't know they were that long-lived.
They're not.
Cryocells.
But while we're there, I'm gonna step away from that for a second as this person comes to and you are left with a living relic. Rachel.
Yeah.
What are you up to?
Is the danger all past?
At the moment, yeah, it seems like it.
All right. I'm gonna make a sandwich. Make a sandwich and eat that sandwich. Maybe read a book or something.
Are you going back to our ship to do this, or are you just doing it on their ship?
Well, I suppose that I should have said first, I will assess the sandwich making capabilities
Yes.
of this particular ship.
Go ahead and roll me D20 plus. I'm gonna say
Science to find the kitchen.
hang on.
Yeah, what do I roll for sandwich?
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. Roll me tactics. You gotta figure out whether or not this military facility is equipped for sandwiches.
Oh, I'm not sure.
All these hallways look the same.
Yeah. Well, this place is a mite bigger than the one I am used to. I suppose I'll just go find a book and try to avoid that crazy lady.
Yeah, you're pretty certain this facility doesn't usually, like, this facility probably uses, like, MREs and, like, pre-made food. They probably don't make much in the way of sandwiches.
I could make an MRE sandwich.
Oh,
What?
God.
What crazy lady?
That one we picked up in
one?
place of the dog boy.
Oh. An MRE sandwich sounds like the foulest thing that has ever been made.
I mean, it's not. I mean, it depends on the MREs, really, because they're not like a block of food. They have various. Other
No,
things
I
inside.
know. I've eaten MREs.
Oh, yeah.
But
Rachel has an
they are
adventurous palate.
foul.
Like,
Rachel has an adventurous palate.
I mean,
So you gotta try and make an MRE sandwich?
No,
you get
let's
the ones
go.
with, you get the one with
I'm
the
gonna-
tuna, and then you get the one with like the pretzels and things. And
No, let me see if I can go find a library, a book to read or something to interest me.
Roll me. This one's gonna be. Make that survival.
Okay.
Okay.
There we go.
So that's gonna end up being, yeah, you end up finding a library. It's not super extensive, but it is something that has some reading material for you. So
All right. I look for a book that might contain information about or pictures of sandwiches.
you know what?
Or just has the word sandwich in the title.
You find a weird book called Sandwiches, a Protoss examination of Terran culinary arts.
Ooh, that sounds fascinating. I take that one down, and I find a chair to sit in to peruse the contents.
Yeah, but it was written by one of the Kalani, so it's like just boring as hell.
It's an interesting book. It's really weird to see a Protoss basically be like, what is this amazing invention that they create and put in their mouths that gets them nutrients? Like we have to absorb that shit from the sun, and Nerazine, we're not in the sun all the time.
Wow, this book makes some well-reasoned arguments. I have never looked at sandwiches in this particular light before. And now I am saddened that I was unable to find a place to make a sandwich.
And you can go back to the ship to make a sandwich.
I'm feeling a bit lazy. I might just lay down in the chair that I was reading in and take a little nap.
We'll have to find her later.
Whatever, you guys haven't rescued the kid.
Rachel Harmon goes to sleep in the chair.
I wonder if he got sent out the airlock.
Working on it.
Wait,
probably.
What?
Takes time.
Probably.
No.
I was only gone for 2
our
weeks.
research on Theodore was that he was most likely at a different black site. He was at 2. I can't remember if he was at 1 or 2, but he was
One
not.
was the one that you were pretty certain he was at.
Yeah.
Probably.
Probably.
And Raven was at.
I don't care, so.
He might not be at a black site anymore. He may be just outside of one.
And we'll never know.
Maybe he's on Black Entertainment Television on Soul Train. Who knows? All
Probably
our cues about him were wrong.
I feel like that would have taken a really long trip in a wrong direction.
Yeah, that would have been required getting all the way back to Terra.
Anyway,
All right.
so I will interface with Task Force Whiskey and let them know that we're here and ready to move the ship. All
right. They all start. Stone mostly ends up directing people around where to head to the pilot's room, or to the cockpit, the bridge, to get everything moving. And the bridge is massive. It requires a pretty big staff just to get things to start moving. Like, we're talking like 60, 70 people just on the bridge. And then a good handful more to make sure everything in the systems are working. You begin to see why this thing needs such a massive crew.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. And while that's happening, this ancient Protoss stands up, looks around, spots you, Cornix, and immediately his hand reaches up for the Strife Greatsword on his back and begins to pull it from its sheath.
You might want to call for help.
As you recall, the Aeon of Strife was where the Ire Protoss kicked the Nerazim off of Ire.
Yes.
Those are many words, and I am excited to perhaps one day learn the meaning of them all.
AKA, this dude don't like Nerazim.
Right, I got that much.
Yep.
I'm assuming it's something to do with the homeworlds and history and psychically bonded species.
Yes. It's
there were things that happened that made things happen, and then things happened.
You will probably you will probably get exposition pretty soon.
Yep.
So you Kinala Atum?
Kinala Atum, followed by Unlanar Kar, I believe it. Unlarar Kar.
Which for those of you who don't understand Kalani, is we are as one, followed by be at peace.
I'm sorry, I took Japanese in high school, not whatever the fuck you just said.
Kalai. Or Kalani.
Kalani is the language.
It's the Protoss native language.
Got it.
It would be very impressive if your school offered Protoss.
Right?
Cool. Like I would, if my school offered Kalani, I would take that in a heartbeat.
Oh,
Especially if my school offered that in 1993 to 1995. I would be super impressed.
I mean, yeah, considering it was released in 1998.
Exactly. I'm old.
Honestly, I would take the only language that I would take before Kalani would be Orcish. But
Anyways.
anyway, roll me an influence check, Forenix.
Okay. Influence is going to be. Oh, this is not going. This is probably not going to go well.
Out of curiosity, is this like where is this in relation to like the bridge?
Bridge is near the upper level. This is happening on one of the lower levels.
Okay, so they're not.
You don't put your brig and your bridge next to each other.
They're not like being loud enough that the.
Oh my God!
On the upper deck could hear.
I rolled a natural fucking 1.
Although they might be in a second.
They have the ones at the best possible times.
One.
In a minute, the screams may reach the roof, but right now it hasn't.
So,
Flies.
what's your defense?
My defense is 20.
Okay.
Strive Great Blades also hurt a lot.
Yes, they do.
So your shield takes 30 points of damage as this great sword streaks across it as he rushes forward, loudly shouting, "Na Fatsil!" as he rushes forward, which is Kalani for "we destroy."
I know that language. I know that term very well. It's one of Vazaron's favorites.
Yep. Okay. So I'm guessing there needs to be some initiative here, or we just kind of.
I mean, right now there's only the two of
Am
us,
I
so-
in here?
Okay.
Is that anywhere near the armory?
Roll me perception.
Can I roll perception for the psychic voices ringing out below?
It's way out of your range.
Okay.
I'm assuming it's nowhere near the ships, because
Alright.
that would be a bad place to put your brig.
Yeah, near the airlock.
I mean, near the armory would also be a bad idea.
That's
Not
true.
necessarily.
I mean,
But
there
it's
are
more
reasons
likely
to
that an armory would be near-ish, because you lock up all your weapons before you go hang out with prisoners. Though they let the prisoner keep his sword, so...
I mean, he was in stasis, so
27.
Ew!
was in stasis.
Yeah.
That's reason to take the sword away.
Why is the initiative tracker busted?
It's not. I don't know.
I'm not seeing it.
Did you double click
I
it
am.
to make it invisible?
Am I?
I'm like, it's up for us.
And
Yeah.
I see foreigners on it, yeah.
If you double clicked it to make it invisible, then it might be. You might just not be able to see it right now.
I cannot see it. It is transparent. I'm assuming I made it invisible somehow accidentally.
Yeah, if you find it again, if you can find.
If you double click it, it minimizes the same way character sheets do.
It's okay.
And if you find
it's-
it again, you can double click it.
It's
That works
transparent.
with
It's
character
transparent
sheets?
though.
Yeah, but
There's
it's not,
two
it's
people,
not-
just figure out what order they're going in and you can go with that.
It's not 100%
Yeah,
transparent.
I'm just no, like it is physically like it's actually transparent right here. I'm seeing the cog and the next turn sign, but I'm not seeing the list, and it's just kind of like translucent.
Oh,
Interesting.
Well, we can fix it later.
It's gonna reload the page.
Today I learned you can do that with character sheets. Thank you, Aaron.
Oh,
Yes.
sorry. Yes.
I did not know that. Do you know how
Me
much of a
neither.
pain in the ass that was with
Yes, I do. I've
Eberron?
had many NPCs. Character sheets, also spells or equipment, which isn't relevant to this system, but in D&D is pretty useful.
You can also set it to
You-
pop out as a separate window, so you can pull it away.
Yes.
Pop out as a separate
That's-
window or tab is also useful.
That's typically what I have done.
Mhm.
The problem is I have enough damn windows of shit open as it is.
I like having them all minimized in like a list on the side of the page, but that's just me.
Yeah, no, that's a good way to do it.
All right, so go ahead and roll me. So, yes, you did.
Okay.
As you're moving through the armory, you do hear a loud psychic shout and the sound of a blade crashing against an energy shield.
Welp.
Ka-chum, 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 ka-chum.
Actually, that may not be his valid initiative anymore. I need to check and see. Oh no, that is still his valid initiative. So
All right, you have to dip out, Rachel or Sarah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I was just putting in chat. I got a text message from my sister who needs some help, so I'm gonna go help her out, and I'll let you guys get on with the rest of the game.
Okay.
So, thanks for being so understanding.
Good luck.
Yeah,
Yeah,
we'll see you later.
Yeah.
All right.
yes,
See ya.
great to have
Bye.
you back again.
Thank you.
Now I've
So-
got to adjust other things.
All right. Go ahead and roll your initiative, Cornix.
Okay.
I did say that after I got done putting the Goliath away, I was heading to meet with Dirk in the armory. I just want to know how far I got.
Roll me a perception check.
All right.
You're on that floor, but you're not quite at the armory.
I am
Yeah.
absolutely.
Did Cornix
nowhere.
ever get like a communicator? Because his communicators could work with the ship.
Yes, I do have a communicator.
Okay.
We are some perceptive motherfuckers.
Yeah,
Cornix
you
is
also hear the sounds of battle.
Well, Cornix's telepathy also has a much greater range than everybody else's, so he could, like, if he needs assistance, he can call for it.
Yeah.
It's true.
Like,
Then again, given whatever
Could-
culture stuff is going on, Cornix may want to deal with this himself.
actually,
I mean, he may want to, but sadly, Dirk is angry at things and needs therapeutic murdering.
We're
actually,
upset about the murder, so we need to do some therapeutic murder.
There is good death, and then there's bad death.
Mm.
That was bad death.
yeah.
Yeah.
Besides, he trusts that the Cornix will tell him to stop killing if that's what he wants to do.
All right.
So I got a 10. I don't know what everybody else is at, but
Roll
So-
for
and yeah. Oh, for initiative, yes.
Yeah.
So, Jack, are we ready to see it? Who wins between a psychic warrior and a psychic master?
I'm an elite psychic master now. Thank you very damn much.
He's probably an elite psychic warrior too.
He's this guy. Yeah, I don't know what. Yeah.
All right. So
I got a 10.
You
your
don't
initiative is
really
also 10.
usually fish up ancient relic of moderate power.
Ancient. I am inventing an ancient relic of moderate power for the Ebron game now, because that's amazing. What the
That-
fuck
that
are you
is-
doing, John?
He's doing battle music.
Oh, I
Actually, no,
thought
I'm
you were
doing the-
doing Coco from
I'm doing
Foster's
the-
Home.
I'm doing the opening to Cowboy Bebop, actually.
Or that.
Yeah, it is Tank.
Sounds more
Yeah.
like Coco to me.
Oh my.
All right.
It's time to blow this thing. Get everybody in their stuff together. Okay, 3, 2, 1, let's jam. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
It just takes me like a second to upload this guy's portrait. So I can actually put him on the initiative tracker. All right, let me.
This tank is really good intro music for anything, really.
Gonna be right there. Means Dirk, you are on your way. You're not quite there yet, but you will be almost to the door. You'll be able to enter into the room on your next turn.
Okay. Whoosh, whoosh. Or more like clunk, 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 clunk.
Yeah. This stranger is going to rush forward and make another set of attacks as he brings the strife blade around and hammers against your shield. You make a note that he does not have plasma shielding because that technology is not as old as this. Actually, I don't know when plasma shields came about, but I imagine they're somewhat newer than the Aeon of Strife.
A little bit, from my recollection.
There, everyone's back where they belong.
That's going to be.
This has been the episode of John needs to rearrange things now.
That is exactly your defense, which means your shield takes 24 points of damage.
All right.
Let's
see. What was my first? The first one was 30, right?
30. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah. No. Okay. So that was 25. Which put me at 7. So then it was 20. Okay. So 5 of that is eaten by armor. There's 7 left over, which takes the damage, and then it rolls over to my actual armor, which I think will eat the rest of it, because my armor for that is why is everything on my computer lost right now? There we go. I don't know either.
Why is it?
So 5, 7, so 12 is eaten. That leaves 12 more.
12, and my toughness my damage resistance is 12. Exactly.
So exactly 0.
Right. So I take exactly 0 damage.
The repeated strikes from this great sword hammer through the plasma shield, but then the last one that breaks the plasma shield, it like reduces the force enough that it just scrapes across your armor.
Yep. Okay. And
he shouts rather loudly, "Cassar de Templari!"
Yeah, that's exactly what I would have expected him to yell. Okay. All right.
Did you expect anything else?
Nope, I did not. Let me see. I need to figure out what combat influence stuff does. Which basically, Cassar de Templari means from order comes justice.
Yeah.
I was assuming it was more like, you are a Templar!
No, he's a Templar.
He's a Templar. Yes. No.
One of the two.
It's a common battle cry for Templar Protoss.
Mm-hmm.
And again, I don't know if this will ever bring me within earshot, but after dealing with the bridge, I'm going to go oversee the removal of the Terrazine tanks. So. All
right. You're on your way there, but
I'm just letting you know what I'm doing while all this is going on.
All right. Okay. So it's your turn.
Yep. Okay. So it's my turn.
Yeah.
Okay. Pulling up the combat influence chapter. I basically want to try and talk him down as much as I can while getting out of the way. So the first thing I'm obviously going to do is attempt
Minor
to
action,
manifest
bob and
cloak.
weave.
Yes, yes. Minor action, bob and weave, and
Move action, manifest cloaking.
trying to see what for my, because I don't think manifest is a move. Actually, it's another minor for me.
But you can use your move action for, so.
Right, which I can use my move action for. So yeah, that's what we're gonna try first. Okay. Sorry, this is taking me so long, everybody.
It's all good.
It's all good. I'm sorry,
All
I'm
right.
about to ruin your attempt at being non-combative.
Yeah,
That's how
that's gonna
Dirk
be-
dies.
Manifest check of a 22, which is definitely plenty to cloak.
Wood coronet? Sorry.
And then, yes, I'm just shouting out to everybody to stand the fuck down, which will actually translate to everyone in the area, pretty much exactly with that sort of concept. And
Alright, you're specifically trying to influence this guy, so.
but I'm specifically trying to influence this guy. Yes.
So roll me your influence check.
Okay. Influence is different. Because that is a willpower roll. 21 to influence him.
Alright. This is resolve. Just barely missed it.
Damn it! And then for my standard action. Oh wait, that probably is my standard.
that was your standard action, I'm gonna say. Which means we bring it back around Oswald.
Okay. I hear the fighting off in the distance and him saying stand the fuck down, so I guess I'll get as close as I can, but I'm not pulling my weapons out or anything. I just want to see what's going on over in that direction.
Alright, so you start moving that way.
Yeah. I'll
that's-
hustle.
That's gonna be your turn. Dirk, you actually arrive on the scene.
All right, I'm going in. Weapon is still pulled because it was pulled when it was probably in my hands in the armory when I first heard the shouting. But I'm not going to pull. I've been told by my commander, don't stand down. It's being held ready to shoot at a moment's notice, but he's just waiting there right now. And basically, he's trying to block the door to prevent it from getting out.
Alright. So its turn. You've disappeared.
Jack, I don't know if you did this intentionally, but it's kind of a perfect symbol of what your character does. So, kudos.
I feel like he actually stepped away.
Oh no, I'm pretty sure he did. Rachel continues to make a sandwich. Ava continues to pouch in her room.
I continue to acquire my fairly gotten gains.
So
I mean, Dirk hasn't bled in all of 15 minutes in game. So
I'm just going to remind you that healing thresholds only come back after you've slept.
It's been
I'm
at
aware.
least 30 minutes because it took that long for
That's
us to
true.
get here.
That's true. That's true.
There was like inventory happening and stuff.
But he did accidentally scrape his cheek against one when he was using trying to check the sight on one of the weapons. So it still is 15 minutes.
Okay. And
So-
Cornix went invisible, leaving only one visible target for
Yeah, so,
Templar.
This is gonna go great.
So the Protoss turns and sees you. Quite frankly, the first sapient non-Protoss creature that he has ever seen before.
I gathered as much from the chat.
Looks around, sees you have a gun drawn on him, but doesn't know what it is though, because he hasn't really seen a gun before.
I mean, that's good.
Um,
As far as he's aware, he could be doing some weird mating ritual at this point.
roll. Okay. So,
Which, depending on where on Earth Dirk is from, might not be far off.
I mean, he's from like, what do I have it listed? I think he's from. Where's bio? Kansas. So, you know.
So he looks at you for a second, decides to ignore you for a minute, and closes his eyes. And there's a sense of concentration, and he says something in Kalani that you don't understand, Dirk. He says, "Oh, shot us, Shiel," and he swings wildly with the greatsword at what appears to be thin air.
I feel your presence.
So I'm aware that my commander has the capability of turning invisible. Does this count as Does that focusing and then swinging count as something that would be provoke an opportunity attack?
I will say yes, because he actually had to stop and collect himself to try and sense where he was at.
All right.
And
He's trying to kill my boss, so I am going to kill him.
Oh dear.
You went invisible, Cornix. This is all your fault.
So I am going to heavy Gauss rifle automatic. I rolled a 38 to hit.
All right, so that's gonna hit and get all of your overage.
All of which is 6, because it's instinct, right?
Yeah.
So 6 over, so 24. Penetration 9. I feel like there's something else. I just don't know what.
I think at the moment that's it, because you're not doing like a focus burst in full automatic, so you don't get hailfire.
Right. Okay. So yes.
All right.
So
9.
24 with penetration 9.
All right. So he has no energy shield, so take that off this template. His armor's not quite that good, so
He's wearing light armor.
It's been a pleasure being alive.
As far
Right.
as you know, this dude just said in Kalani, "Quiet, the adults are fighting," and then swung wildly.
And that offends me.
Yeah.
So as he's swinging, these gauze spikes like trace across the shoulder of his armor and like cut long lines that slowly bleed a dark color as they cut along his body, doing a significant amount of damage because his armor is not as good as modern Protoss armor, and he doesn't have any energy shields. So, but he keeps the swing up. What is your new defense with Bob and Weave active, Cornix?
You're muted.
My new one with Bob and Weave active, because Bob and Weave gives me what, +2?
Yeah, I think.
New defense would be 22.
With the -10 from you being cloaked, he misses. So The blade comes swinging towards your head, but you just slide out of the way as it passes over you. And then it brings it back around to your turn, I believe.
Okay.
What you gonna do?
Yeah, that is the question, because I've now got Dirk opening fire on him.
I mean,
It would probably be good to keep him alive.
Yeah. Oh no, that's definitely what we're gonna do. What is the called shot to disarm somebody in this system?
To the arm that is holding the weapon, I guess.
Okay.
I would say in this case,
Or-
if you are choosing to attempt to disarm him, that will be a standard action that I will allow you to invoke.
Or you could telekinesis his sword out of his hands. Move object.
Could I do that?
You could try. He would get to try and resist you, especially with his own grip.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna try and use my spear to do it.
Worth noting, the strength you use for the opposed roll when you use telekinesis to try to remove an object from someone's hand is equal to... where is it? Oh, it's manipulate. You can manipulate it, which I guess would be... Yeah, no, this thing is twice your caster's power level, or psi level, which would be your enhanced version because you have the focus.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah,
we
that's
need
true,
like
I
a
do.
running audio gag for any time someone has to go and look something up.
Yeah. Yeah, so like, cause you get +2 to your telekinesis, right? For your effective psi level.
Yeah.
So that would be 6. So that would be an effective 12 strength to wrench it from his hands.
Oh. Yeah, let's do that.
Alright, so it's going to be your strength versus his strength.
So yeah.
Of course, you have to manifest, but
Yeah.
Well, manifest probably won't be a problem. Oh god. There's another natural one.
unless you do that.
Yep.
You attempt to manifest the telekinetic ability to attempt to pull the sword from his hands, and you begin to get that focus, but then his glare fixes you, and something about being confronted with a living, breathing juggernaut from ancient history kind of sets you on edge, and you lose your focus.
And overload.
No, not Protoss.
No, that's all right.
Yeah. No, I don't
Sorry.
I don't overload, which is nice.
Only non-ghost Terran psionics overload when they roll a natural one.
Got it. All right.
So yeah, I'll keep up my bob and weave. And I mean, because failing to manifest, that still uses up the action that would be necessary for that, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Which for manipulate is a move action.
So I still have my move. Oh, it's a move action?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Manipulate is? Oh, okay.
Yep.
So I still have my standard action. So yeah, I am going to try and use my blade then to attempt to disarm him.
All right, that'll be an attack roll opposed by his attack roll.
First brain, then brawn.
And I'm yeah, minor action to remain. Does being cloaked still
He doesn't.
Give him-
He can't see what you're trying to do, so yes, it would still give him a -10.
okay.
that's probably good.
Disarm
Yes.
him before he murders Dirk,
And since it's
and before Dirk murders him.
I mean, yeah, it's one or the
round
other.
action, yeah. So so it's just gonna be a size spear single. Doot. It's a 28
that's good.
attack roll.
His was only a 24. So, you bring the spear around the tip of the strife blade and forcibly force. You push the end of the spear down the length of it to the hilt and twist the blade from his hand. It falls and hits the ground with a loud clattering noise.
Be at peace. We are not your enemies.
Oswald, you arrive on the scene.
Alright, so I just see the dude drop his sword. I heard Dirk shoot. I'm just gonna run in and, like, at the doorway and just kind of peek around and see what's going on and wait to see, because he said to stand down, so I'm assuming he's somewhere and he's got this handled. So I'll just pull out my pistol just in case, but I'm not showing myself.
All right. That'll bring us back around to Dirk.
Is it... So now that he's disarmed, we're gonna get... Gun's still out. He's still blocking the door, so it can't get out. And he's basically... I am basically holding action, staring a hole through him.
All right. All right. So that brings us back around.
Don't make me shoot your ass again.
To his turn.
Yep. A second.
Womp womp.
So yeah, he looks at the Terrans that have arrived, and now recognizing that a gun is a weapon and that the other one has a similar looking one, and realizing that he has lost his weapon and is fighting an opponent that he cannot see at the moment, and that he is severely outnumbered. He clenches his fists and stands with his chin held up, and he says something in Kalani, which means that only Koronix can really understand it. But the gist of what you get is, if you want to strike me down, then do so. The Blade of Kos will not surrender easily.
Wow. Jesus fucking Christ. Okay. Well, okay.
That was a name drop I don't understand.
Yes, well, I don't know.
I mean, that's an entire
even
sentence
you guys
we don't,
might.
That's an
Well,
entire
then again,
sentence
would
we
be
don't
able to
understand.
that he said it, even if lore-wise
No,
we
'cause it's
might
in
know
Kalani.
it?
Yeah.
Okay, that was my assumption.
Yeah, me as a player, I have no idea.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And even I don't think their characters would even know either, because it's
And
kind of an obscure character.
For your character's edification, also, however, Koronix, he did say the Blade of Kos, not Kos.
Nah, okay. All right. Well,
He's not implying that he is Kos himself.
Okay, that was going to be my next sort of lore specific question. Is this guy trying to imply that he himself is? But okay.
I mean, when I think of blades relating to Kos, I tend to think more Dungeons and Dragons than StarCraft, personally.
Not the same.
But
Kos.
I assume not. Vecna?
I was gonna say.
Yeah.
Well, yeah.
Fuck.
Well, but technically,
And
the
I'm
guy
trying to
who
figure out how that
betrayed
spells so I
Vecna,
can
right?
Google it and understand what you guys are talking about.
But yeah.
It's okay. Your characters wouldn't know this information. So what is
But still, yeah.
What is Cornix's response?
Cornix's response is going to be to he's going to drop his cloak. He's going to stop sustaining his cloak, and with the very now apparent two-handed size spear leveled in as non-aggressive, more in as much a defensive position as he can, and hopefully communicating that just by his stance and the way he's holding the weapon that he's on defensive, not aggressive. What is your name and what is your tribe, brother?
Okay, So, he looks at you for a moment, and there's this look of almost... It's not quite pity and it's not quite hate. It's this sort of... The individual standing before me is someone who has refused what is obviously the right path in life.
Contempt?
Because yeah, it's almost contempt, yeah.
Has this guy realized that he's not connected to the Kala yet?
Not yet. And for all he knows, he might just be too far away from other Protoss to feel the Kala. And he looks at you. I am Varasan of the newly formed Ara tribe.
Sorry, I thought I had to sneeze there for a second. Okay. And just for my notes, how do you spell that name?
Verasahn. Actually, it's Varasan.
Varasan.
All right. Okay. How much would Koronix know of the Ara?
Roll me lore.
Okay. And let me see what modifier for lore still is. 10. Oh. 29.
I'm assuming you have the Ara tribe Wikipedia page open.
Yes, I do.
You basically know that stuff.
Okay, sounds good. Yeah. So, and if I'm reading this right, yeah, they're basically the point men for the Judicators, pretty much.
Yeah,
they were right.
They were basically the tribe. The tribe was initially formed from the first people that Koss taught about the Kala and his teachings.
Mm-hmm.
His first students, basically, were initially formed as the Ara tribe. Which implies if this Protoss is implying that the Ara tribe was recently formed in his history, that implies that he is a direct student of Koss.
Right. Holy shit. Yeah. So he's going to kind of incline his head slightly. And lower his spear tip just a fraction. There is great respect for the history in our people's past. But I must tell you, brother, much time has passed since you were imprisoned. The strife has ended, and our people are no longer in open conflict with each other. I ask for your trust. I freed you from your imprisonment with the intent that peaceful interaction may continue as it has from our factions for much time now. Will you allow us to speak before reclaiming your blade?
He looks at you for a second, and again in Kalani, because he hasn't bothered to actually speak directly to the Terrans. He says, "You would ask me to believe that all of history has turned on its head, and that you, one who would cast off Costas' teachings, have once again walked at our side."
This is what I ask.
Let me influence check.
Okay. $12.
He seems not very trusting at the moment, but he kind of sees that he doesn't really have a choice considering he's surrounded. So he just, "And speak your words, and I will hear them." The implication being that he might not believe them.
Right.
Dirk has not twitched, for the record, yet.
That gun is still trained on his head.
Oh, yeah.
I put my pistol away. And I'm just like chilling in the door, like.
Just kind of leaned up against the
He's still
door
got
frame.
that. He's still got that like shoulders squared, fists at the side, chin held high image of someone who's basically standing in front of a firing squad, showing no fear.
Yeah.
Protoss are good like that.
I'm trying to play off Karnix and the
Much
no
time
fight.
has passed. Ire has seen many conflicts, but the tribes have been reunified to a more common purpose. The corruption that was imposed upon our worlds.
Be really careful with how you're wording this, man,
Yeah,
because he knows nothing about Amon.
right. Has been spread, but all Protoss now seek a peaceful way.
All.
Hey, shut your face. I'm talking. We'll let him have nuances later. the systems by which we engaged in the battles that so strongly influenced our lives are frequently subject to change. Cass?
Before I completely forget this character's name, I need to write it down.
Okay.
Verasan.
Actually, well, this is going. Dirk's going to in his communicator. Doc, you might want to get down to where we are because there's somebody's hurt down here one way or another, and we might need you.
Just quick, William, clarification. I'm assuming with the ship rerouting, I can get that.
Yeah.
Cool. Headed
And I'll
your
send the
way.
location. I'll send the location along with, obviously.
Yep. Let me know when I get there, but I realize it won't be for a little while.
Right.
All right. Yeah, it'll be a little bit.
I mean, somebody's wounded one way or the other, and at best, it's going to stay that way. At worst, we might need an autopsy. So,
I mean, I probably can do an autopsy.
I mean, you're good at it. You work well with Xeno's biology.
Right.
Yeah. No, I'm good at xenobiology and I'm good at medicine.
and you have, I mean,
And
Ava's bedside manner makes her very, very suited to autopsies. So,
Coronix is going to he's going to hold out his memory crystal.
What's in this one?
So it's literally his entire experiences, everything. It's tier 2 at this point, so I mean, like, it can't necessarily fulfill the entire but it's pretty much everything he's experienced over the past Terran equivalent of year, probably. And he's going to offer it to him.
Let's see.
I cannot offer much more than this that will communicate my intent and my trust and the experiences that have recently passed within the sector.
So,
But many things have changed since last you walked across.
at tier 2, I will say it can
Stars.
hold recent years,
Okay.
which would include the Amon crisis.
All right.
In fact, pretty much the history of the StarCraft games.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, and it's pretty much
Kind of useful that your entire species was involved in the war.
yeah.
Also, fast data download.
Yeah, pretty much.
I know Kung Fu.
That's
No.
kind of
That's how Protoss work.
yeah. And yeah, that's honestly the only thing he can think to pass to try and rapidly communicate to whoever Verasan is, and try and just catch him up to speed. But yeah, that's what he's trying to communicate. Hey, reality is way different than you have probably than you would have experienced, and this is me trying to literally just completely openly show you what has transpired and what the
question
sector,
is-
the frame of the sector is like.
The question now is, does he know what a memory crystal is?
Eon crystals have been around for a long time. Yeah. So. Yeah, he takes the crystal from you, looks at you hesitantly, and then holds the crystal and grasps it tightly and closes his eyes. And you get the sense that he tried to read everything far too fast.
Yeah, no,
There's-
probably.
There's a moment of shock where he actively drops the crystal for a second and falls to his knees. And then after a moment of orientation, he grabs the crystal again and focuses and closes his eyes. And if a Protoss could sweat, you would almost see the sweat forming on his brow. But
Yep.
he is experiencing all of these events that took place over the course of years, over the span of a couple of minutes. So there's this long period of silence as he holds the crystal. And he sets it down. There is much to reconcile. I have been gone so long. How long ago was the Great War?
I'd try. Coronix will try and communicate that. I don't personally know lore-wise how much time, or even really actually how Protoss gauge the passage of time.
3,000 years.
Yeah,
They actually do recognize the passage of years. They have referenced that in particular in the games. So,
okay.
like one of the Protoss you meet in StarCraft 2 says, 3,000 years ago, I fought alongside so and so in the Aeon of Strife.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So,
So yeah.
So the year
That's what he-
currently on the Gregorian calendar, which is the Terran calendar.
Right.
The
it
rat
is
calendar.
currently Great War, all the way down this timeline.
Interstitial music for looking stuff up.
It is
I can't do
is
music
The
because
Jeopardy
I'm tone deaf.
music public domain by now?
No.
That's cute.
But apparently we
Nothing.
don't care.
Well, it doesn't
Yeah,
matter.
no.
It doesn't matter if it's public domain or not. I'm doing it, therefore it's a cover, not the actual music, so they cannot
Right.
sue. Ha 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 ha. Creative license. Anyway,
You should just laugh.
There
Laugh
are
to the
many
theme of
content
Jeopardy.
creators on YouTube who have had their stuff removed who would
That's true.
disagree with that assessment.
well, if their bots manage to pick up me going do 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 as the Jeopardy music, then I will be very impressed. Also,
Oh, yeah.
we don't
Yeah,
advertise. Also, we don't advertise on any of our stuff. We are supported solely by you, the viewer at home.
Thanks,
Anyway,
guys.
so the year is currently the year is currently 2504 CE.
Right.
The year of the initial year of the establishing of the Kala, not just the Aeon of Strife, but the establishing of the Kala, was 500 BCE.
Wow.
So we're saying it's been a spell.
Yep.
Been a minute.
So yeah, we're talking.
Full Scotia time.
Mhm.
Been a while.
Yep. Roughly 3 millennia.
Take the 3, add 3 zeros to it.
Where was I found?
He'll turn and look at the location of the.
You get the sense that he's
The
looking
stasis-
for...
Right, but he's like, that information is unknown to me and would likely require some research to determine with any measure of accuracy. I would be willing to, of course, find whatever way possible to contact those who would be likely to hold or be able to acquire such information.
Actually, that is a good point, Cody. He kind of is Captain America in that he got frozen during a war and came out long after it was over.
Yeah, he's the Protoss Captain America.
Yeah, this is the Protoss Captain America. Yeah,
It
really
was
is.
chilled for just a little bit longer, though.
It's like
just a bit.
Captain America's the country he represented still like really functioned at the time.
Yeah.
As I understand it, the equivalent is not true for Protoss.
Yeah, not really. They kind of undergone another iteration or two.
Right.
So what we're saying is that he's gonna be a Nazi in about 10 years.
Secretly, he was secretly a
Well,
Tal'Darim the whole
Yeah,
time.
in Tal'Darim in this case it would be, yeah.
Yes, he was secretly one the whole time because of a cosmic.
Magical
Yeah, there's
retcon
no
machine.
that transfer
Secretly-
the same way over probably. A cosmic.
Secretly, he was the first Tal'Darim.
The very first Tal'Darim in history.
Yep, he just got froze before he decided to go public.
Coming soon, StarCraft, Secret Empire.
Yeah.
God.
Anyways,
Anyway. All right. He stands up from his kneeling position and reaches down and grabs the sword off the ground. Brings it up and slings it over his shoulder and puts it back into its sheath. There is much that I must learn about this era and what has passed. He turns and looks at Dirk and for the
Has
first time speaks in
not
a language.
Lowered gun.
And for the first time, he speaks in a language that you can understand. And this Terran creature, does it move? And since I believe that Jack has to run away right now, and we're kind of in the middle of an important thing of what Jack is, what Cornix is involved with, I think we might need to end early tonight.
all right. Well, we have been Final Show Films. We produce a wide variety of content every day of the week. You can check us out on our website at finalshowfilms.com. You also check us out on our Patreon page at patreon.com/fsfilms. If you'd like to support us financially, as I said previously, we are supported entirely by you, the viewer at home. No ads or anything like that on this channel or on our YouTube channel. So, we appreciate all of you watching on Twitch. All of you that have subscribed on Twitch, all of you that donate bits to us, and all of our patrons, especially our $25 tier patron supporters, Chris Comfort, Antitonic, and Cat Waterflame. Thank you all very much for your support. We appreciate it. Without it, we wouldn't be able to be quite as much as we already do. So thank you. We also appreciate the folks over at 411mania.com. Jeremy, tell us a little bit about 411mania.com.
411mania.com is a pop culture site that basically caters to if there's something that you're interested in as a geek, we've got it covered. Whether if you're going to be looking for next weekend all of the news to come out of Comic-Con, we're going to have all that as soon as it hits. The latest blockbusters, TV, comics. All the latest stuff coming out of WWE and other relevant wrestling promotions and GFW too, MMA, games, music, Final Show film stuff, check us out, 411mania.com.
We appreciate them very much. And important information tomorrow afternoon at about 4 p.m. Eastern Time. Jack and myself will be guesting on a stream with the Dawnforge cast folks over at youtube.com/DawnforgeCast. We are going to be doing character gen for a Vampire the Masquerade one-shot. Jack's going to be running at the end of the month for the Dawnforge cast folks, so we appreciate them doing this crossover work with us, so be sure to tune in tomorrow to watch it. Keep an eye on my Twitter feed for links to it when it goes live. I will be tweeting out about it. It's going to be a lot of fun, and you guys get to see me create one of my favorite vampire characters I've ever made.
This is going to be some crazy, awesome OC character generation stuff, though, yeah.
Yes, Dawnforge Cast. Look it up on YouTube. They're great. They do a lot of fun stuff. They've been making me really crave the new Pathfinder game. That is effectively their version of Spelljammer.
Starfinder. Yeah.
Starfinder. Yeah. Oh, it looks really good. Anyways.
Yeah.
But yeah, go check them out. We appreciate them, and we'll be doing stuff with them tomorrow. And be on the lookout for that at the end of the month. It's going to be on the 29th at 2 p.m. Eastern, which is going to be 5 hours before our normal Vampire stream. So on the 29th is going to be a day of Vampire the Masquerade, basically. If we're still doing Vampire at that time, but we'll see. Anyways, so yeah, check that out. We appreciate them. We appreciate all of you, and we'll see you all next time. Say goodbye, everybody.
Bye, everybody.
Later.
Goodbye.